So here's my dahlia stash. This is what I've got in terms of tubers that I would harvested from my flower beds. So this whole thing's full. I'm gonna do a little bit of work, try to get them put away for the winter. So I'm gonna store my dahlias in peat moss, and I wanna get the peat moss a little bit wet so I can store the dahlias in a damp peat moss bed. You can store your dahlias a lot of different ways. Sawdust, you can wrap them in plastic, you can put them in a paper bag, you can put them in plastic bags. Really, you can do a lot of different stuff with them. So all I'm gonna do is just hydrate this peat moss a little bit, like this, and try to get the clumps out. So got my peat moss here. I probably put about half a gallon of water in there. It's damp, but it's not soaking, and there's no water dripping away. So if you're wanting to split these so you can propagate them, you need to split them in terms of the number of eyes you have versus the number of tubers. So if you can see this, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 or 8 tubers, and then it's got several eyes on here. Just see an eye there, you can see an eye there, there. I see 3 or 4 eyes on this clump. So basically, if you're gonna split it, you need to retain at least one of the eyes per each tuber. So I'm gonna cut right down through here, like this. These things are really hard. This is very dangerous. There we go. So here you can see the eye is right there. I see one right there too. So there's an eye right there, and there's one right there. So technically I could probably split this again, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to leave this one with 2 eyes. And then this one here has 2 eyes as well, but it's pretty small little clump, so I'm just going to leave it like that, kind of clean it up a little bit. So we've got this one, which is going to turn into a plant, and then this one is going to turn into a plant as well. It's going to turn into several plants, really. This one looks good. Ooh, this is a good one. This one's wet. Oh, it's Sassy Chick. Sassy Cheek. Got it. First thing you got to do is you got to cut off all of these stragglers. You can leave them on there. It's really no big deal. I just want to clean it up a little bit. So you can see the eyes very evident because it grew. There's one there, there. Lots of eyes on this guy. So what you can do is just cut it right down the center generally. If you cut it right down the center, generally you have a pretty good chance of getting something that's going to work for you. Like I said, you have to have at least 1 tuber. I got several eyes there. I've got two good tubers right here and here, and eyes there and here. So that's a good one. Really should have rinsed these off a couple weeks ago and let them dry, but just, like I said, I just didn't get to it. So see right here, lots of eyes right there. So I'm just going to cut this guy in half like that. So got 1 good tuber right there, and these are good and healthy. They're wet, they're firm, they're hard. That's a good deal. I'm going to cut this one in half again, like that. So you see this one's got the eyes there. So that one's Sassy Chick. Same thing here, put some peat moss in there. Roll her up and store it away in the winter, for the winter. Alright, so it's 2 days later or something. I filmed the first night of me kind of tearing into the dahlia tuber clumps. I worked on it a second night, and this is the third night. I have lots and lots and lots of tubers here. So here's what I'm doing to pack these up, okay? Putting them in a plastic bag, and you can do this so many different ways. This one's called Bluetiful. Got this one, this one, this one, and oh, that one's probably not gonna grow. I'm putting all my tubers in a plastic bag like this. I'm putting some peat moss in the bag like this. Okay, a couple handfuls or whatever. You can see the peat moss in here. It's a little bit damp. It's not wet, but it is damp. Then I'm just wrapping it up like this, kind of tight. And then if you see the holes in here, I've taken this knife like this, just cut a couple of holes here and there so it can breathe a little bit, so it doesn't retain all the moisture. Then once I get it like this, I'm putting it in this box right here, tightly packing them in the box. You just need something that doesn't have any light, and you don't want it seeing light, and you don't want it getting to a certain warm temperature. You're gonna want to store these in like a root cellar or something. So I've got lots and lots of bags in here. This thing's all the way full of tubers, and then I just threw some peat on top that's kind of wet a little bit, just to kind of keep some of the moisture in there, hopefully. And then I'm putting the lid on like this, and then I'm going to put these in my crawl space or my little root cellar or whatever. So I'm going to continue packing all these up and filling up this box, preparing this box for storage. So I do have lots of tubers, probably way more than I will ever need or use. I do plan to give some of these tubers away. There has been a few people that have asked me about them, and I do plan on sending out a few to some people, not a lot. I think I'm gonna do that in the spring. So when I pull these out in January or February or March, I'm gonna decide which tubers I wanna keep and which ones I wanna give away, and then we'll go from there. So that's gonna kind of happen then. So look at this guy too, same deal. This is the Fuzzy Wuzzy, and this thing is absolutely incredible. The beauty of this guy. So you can see all these tubers. These could be split up into individual pieces. You can see how these propagate and become more and more and more plants. It really is a lot of work to do this, and I would say yeah, but each one of these tubers, if you buy it from a vendor, you'd be looking to spend probably anywhere from $3 to $10 to $15 per tuber, depending on the variety. So I have a lot of money invested in these, so I don't want to squander that away, and I would like to keep them if at all possible. So look how many of these I've got here. So these are all going to be different plants, each one of these. So this would have been a stem cutting from last spring. Took a cutting off one of the tubers when it was starting to grow, rooted it in the ground, and ended up doing only this. So that's not great. That didn't produce any tubers, but if I put this back in the ground, it will eventually grow tubers. What you see in these pots over here are these. If it ended up looking like this and I didn't see much of a tuber, I decided to just plant it up in some of these little pots to see what will happen over the course of the winter in the garage. So then once I get this box filled up, this is my second box, I'm just going to put some peat moss on the top like this to kind of keep a little bit of the light out. So this peat moss is a little bit damp, and I will check this likely in another month or so. Check them, maybe peel back some of or open up some of the bag to see if they are rotting or see if it's too wet in there. But I'm sure that looks pretty good. This is about how I did it last year, a little bit differently, but once I get it to this point, I'm just gonna put the lid on like this. Hopefully that will keep out the sunlight or any light so they don't grow. I don't want them to grow. And then I'm gonna go stash them in my crawl space where it stays around 45 degrees or so. So I'm gonna try to get a jump and a head start on this operation mid-winter. I thought I was doing that last winter, but it just ended up not working because, oh man, it was a mess. This year I'm hoping to not do any stem cuttings. I don't want to do any stem cuttings. While that was awesome and fun and I really enjoyed that, they grew really slow in the environment that I had, and a lot of them did not come to fruition. A lot did, but a lot did not. So that's it. I hope this helps someone in some way in order to maybe pack your dahlias away. If you guys have a success story, write it in the comments. And I tell you, these flowers are amazing. Expensive hobby, a little bit, and a lot of work, but so rewarding and so addictive. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Yes.
Are you still filming?
Yeah, actually.
The same thing over and over again?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna use all of it.
Put them in the box like we did last year?
Yeah, I'm putting them over there.
How come you're putting them back in the bag?
That's what I did last year.
They were in bags?
I tried them without the bags the first year, and they...
Yeah. Remember these, Grandma
I
candy?
hate these. I hate these. Never liked these. Boston baked beans?
They kind of look like that.
Never liked those. They're gross. Put them in here. First year, I did it without bags, and they dried out. Look at this guy. This thing's huge.
They're growing.
Look how big that is.
What you should do is just
Look at that.
put them in pots and let them grow in the house.
I'm going to in January.
But like it's growing.
It's too much. It'll just get too big too fast, and it'll just overtake everything. Oh, that's a big one. What one is this?
Clearview Daniel.
That one's got a question mark.
Okay,
Ah!
guess this is it.
When are the kids going? Because I need to work on the spelling with the boy.
Oh, we need to do that tonight. I'll do it. In about 30 minutes. Oh, look, come here.
Let's look how big this guy is. Lots of tubers on this one. Don't know what variety this is. I have a tag, but it has a question mark on it, so that means we don't know. Or I don't know. This one was in my front planter as well because I can see the roots from that maple tree. So I'm going to cut this guy in half. That. So now I've got this one. That will inevitably give me something. There. So we got that guy. We got this guy. That's crazy. Crazy on that one. It's just insane. This is so insane. I've got so many, but I just want more. I seriously want to buy more. I don't know if I should or not, though. Miss Dahlia. So we've got two stalks going on right here, one there. So I'm going to try splitting that thing apart. Got 3 clumps off of that one. This one, and this one, and inevitably I could split it again, but you go splitting, you're just pressing your luck and living on borrowed time by doing that. But I am gonna cut this off right here. Like that. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Bye to my heart tonight. So that ought to be enough